Hi everyone, I'm Emma. Welcome to this yin yoga session for surrender and letting go. If you're feeling restless, impatient, or frustrated, this is the session for you. Yin yoga teaches us to let go of control and surrender and open our bodies into a deep stretch and sensation. So we'll be holding the poses for a couple of minutes to allow the body and mind to settle. For this session, it can be helpful to have some yoga blocks or some books to hand, and also a yoga bolster if you have one, but cushions or pillows work equally fine. So I've also put a blanket onto my mat just to give me a little bit of extra softness and comfort, so that can be nice too. Once you're ready, get into a comfortable seat and we'll begin. So coming down into a comfortable seated position, that can be cross-legged or on your knees. You may want a block just to pop under your hips, just to lift you up. I find that a much more comfortable position to sit cross-legged. So closing down the eyes or taking on a soft gaze if that feels comfortable to you. Just giving the shoulders a few little rolls, maybe resting the hands on the knees. And just noticing the breath, noticing how you've arrived on the mat today. Sometimes when we're impatient, our breath can be quite ragged. So we'll be focusing in this practice on just lengthening the breath. Just notice on the inhale how it feels, and the exhale, letting your body settle into the mat and into the ground. We'll start with a simple neck stretch whilst we're getting settled into the class. So this is designed to stretch and give you sensation in the back of your neck. You may feel it all the way down to the spine and into the backs of the ribs as well. So very gently, we're just going to lower the chin to the chest, like so. Now this might be enough for you. Remember that we'll be holding this for a minute or so. If you want a little bit more, you can bring your hands to the top of your head. Just remember not to be yanking or putting weight on. It just creates a little bit more sensation. So tucking the chin into the chest, allowing the head to feel heavy. Finding a point of stillness, a point where you feel sensation, but not discomfort or pain. Remember, yin yoga should never be about pain. Settling into this pose, and I'll let you know when it's time to come out. With every breath, notice if you are holding tension, maybe in your shoulders, your jaw, or even in your thoughts. Let it go. Surrender to this moment. There is nothing to fix, nothing to control. Just be here. very gently starting to lift the head up, being really gentle with yourself here. Maybe taking a few shoulder rolls. Okay, I will demonstrate pose 2. So just remove your block if you are sitting on one. So our next pose is puppy pose, and it's really good for kind of letting go and letting the heart melt into the mat. There's a few options here which I will show you. So you may want to have your bolster nearby as well, or your cushions. So with your knees bent like so, you're just going to stretch out your hands down the mat, stretching out under the armpits and the shoulders, and then just melting the forehead to the mat, allowing the chest to drop to the mat too. Now if this feels like too much sensation for you, then you're trying to keep the hips at a square sort of right angle. If that's too much for you, just drop the hips back a little bit. It gives you a bit more space. Or the other option, if you really want to ease into the comfort of this pose, which I do quite enjoy, is to pop the bolster under the chest or a cushion. So just like so. So hips back, right angle, melting down. I get a bit of static on my mic here, but melting down and bringing your forehead down. Just releasing and letting go. As you soften into this pose, feel your heart moving towards the earth. This is a shape of deep surrender. If you feel resistance, breathe it in and breathe it out. Notice where impatience shows up in your body, maybe in your shoulders, your jaw, or your mind. Instead of pushing through, soften in stillness. With each exhale, imagine letting go of control. There is nowhere else to be, just this breath, just this moment. And then gently, slowly coming out of this pose. Might like to counter it with a little child's pose here, so wide legs. Just taking the forehead to the mat. And then slowly coming out of child's pose. I'll demonstrate the next pose. So we're going to go into a nice juicy twist. So this one is really good for learning the art of letting go, because we're just going to let our knees sink to gravity. So we'll start on the right hand side, so coming down to the back, and left leg is out straight, right leg is bent, and again you may need your bolster here. The arms come out in a T shape, and you're just going to twist that right leg as far as you can towards the ground, but without lifting that right shoulder. So this is where the bolster is fantastic. Just pop that, or your cushions or your pillows, under your knee, and then you can really relax into the pose. and then we'll look and turn our gaze to the right side. Closing down the eyes. Twists remind us that release isn't something we do, it's something that happens when we stop resisting. Let gravity take over. Feel the body unravel. Imagine any impatience, frustration, or tension dissolving with each breath out. You don't need to hold on to anything right now. Just trust the unwinding. Trust that everything is unfolding as it should. And then slowly turning back to the centre of the mat, and we'll just switch to the other side. And releasing, maybe bringing the knees to the chest, rolling into a little ball and just taking a rock back and forth. Lovely. So our next pose is my absolute favourite yin yoga pose. It's really good when you just need to remind yourself to let go. So with the bolster or pillows or cushions, just line it up with the base of your spine. Give yourself enough kind of room at the end of your mat. And then the soles of your feet are coming together. If you want more sensation in the inner thighs, you can bring them closer towards your groin. Otherwise, you can just relax them a little bit further out. And then we're just going to drape ourselves back. Oh, delicious. And relax. Closing down the eyes, coming to a place of stillness. This is a shape of complete openness. Rest your hands on your belly or by your sides. Breathe into your hips, your chest, your whole body. If thoughts arise, worries, impatience, restlessness, acknowledge them and let them pass. There is nothing to do, nothing to rush towards. Simply surrender to the stillness. Be here exactly as you are. of sensation into the fingers, bringing the knees together and gently tucking the chin into the chest and rolling up. Just remove that bolster or cushion and we'll finish in Savasana. So coming flat to the mat, palms face up to the sky. Let the weight of your body settle into the mat. Let your feet fall out, ankles wide. Relax your shoulders. Let everything go. Let the breath be effortless. Trust that you don't need to force anything. The more we surrender, the more space we create. Continue deeply breathing in and slowly exhaling out. Stay here for as long as you like. Thank you for joining me today. Namaste.